Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Coach Training Podcast. We're taking a peek behind the scenes of the coaching world with some real coaching sessions and honest chats with top folks in the industry. I'm Dr. Maria Nemeth, your guide and the founder of the Academy for Coaching Excellence. Ever curious about what makes coaching truly transformative? Stick with me as we get into the nuts and bolts of ontological coaching and check out actual coaching sessions where clients tackle and beat their own success blockers. This podcast is for all of you, whether you've been coaching for years, just starting out, or just wondering what coaching is all about. We're going to dive deep into what coaching really means and how it can seriously change our lives in the world around us. So, buckle up, get ready for some inspiration and key takeaways that could really up your coaching game. Let's get started. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Maria, and you're listening to the Coach Training Podcast. The coaching sessions we have here, they are unscripted, unrehearsed, and represent real live coaching that our very courageous guests are allowing me to coach them with whatever they bring to the table. And today I am so happy and privileged to have you, Jonathan, to step up to the plate and to let me coach you. For all of you, I know this is not a visual podcast. You can hear our voices, but if you could see it, I'd love to say that Jonathan has the best smile. I just love it.
Thank you so much.
Listen, it's such a pleasure to coach you. So take a moment and look at for yourself, reflect, because I know there's some result you'd love to produce in our time together.
Yeah. Well, right now for me, something that is really important and that I wanted to bring for this conversation is the idea of writing a blog to longer forms of content for the internet. It's been something that I'm doing right now with short videos on Instagram. It's been a win that I've been consistent with doing it, but I have this feeling that it's just too brief, and I really want to give people more depth into my ideas.
This is wonderful, and it's very courageous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I imagine all sorts of things go through your mind as you even contemplate this. And the question is, given all that, how might I best support you?
Well, since this is an idea that I would say it's more concrete, and it's with me for at least a month right now, I noticed that what's possibly being in the way of me doing more of this is some internal conversation. And that's the reason why I imagine bringing this to coaching would help, because the result would be really publishing and writing those texts more consistently, or not even more consistently, but starting out.
Ah, yes. Even one would be a win, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We need to start somewhere.
Exactly. And what are you experiencing as you're saying that to me?
Well, when I think about the idea of doing this, I experience a lot of joy,
Mm-hmm.
and some tension as well.
Of course. So a great result would be, if I can reflect back, a great result would be that because of our conversation, you will write your first edition of your blog.
Perfect.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I hear that on one hand, you're experiencing a lot of joy and lightness and probably that creative spark. Yes?
Yeah.
And on the other hand, there are those other conversations inside. And when you listen to them, they make you feel nervous.
Exactly.
So let me say something. I'd be worried about you if you weren't nervous. Because This is a new venture. It's an adventure. And you're standing right before a journey. And I'll bet you can see the road stretching out. And it's the beginning of the journey that is worrisome, yes?
Yeah.
Just taking that first step.
Yeah. Taking the first step. And I will also add that the conversation that I'm having internally, it's also related to the results of it. Some worry around writing and not having anyone reading it.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's like throwing a party and inviting people and no one shows up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always that risk.
Hmm.
So, there's always a risk that people may come, they may not come. And yet at the same time, you're taking a stand for your ideas.
Wow. It's the first time that I'm seeing it like this.
Yeah. What do you see?
Well, I believe that ideas are like the most beautiful and powerful thing we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And writing down what I have is at the same time standing for what I believe, and at the same moment, I would say it's creating some legacy as well of
Ah, yes.
what I believe to be true, and also for me to really organize what I believe. It's also important. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing.
Wow. It's big, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
And if you could summarize this experience in one sentence, what might it be?
My current experience, or the joyful experience of legacy and standing for my ideas.
The
Just
the
like,
one of yes, the one about standing for your ideas and the legacy. We can get into that other stuff later, but just
okay,
let's be clear about what the drive is, what's in your heart about this.
I really want to help people in having a transformation in their lives in the way that I experienced through coaching, through ACE, and through my work right now. And yeah, this is important on many levels. One of them is having more people connected with what I do,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
not only to grow my business, but also to give value to people who are already connected to me, them to
Oh,
know new possibilities for their lives and how coaching can also help them or people they know.
this is so beautiful. And I can see by the look on your face that what you're saying really has some depth for you. So, do you have a pen, a piece of paper?
Um, I can grab one, but I
Yeah,
can
go
write on my
grab one,
computer as
please.
well.
Yeah, go for it. Better that you grab one.
Perfect.
Got it?
Okay, I got it.
Perfect. You might be wondering why I'm asking you to write something rather than putting it on your computer. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to suggest that you might write down a sentence right now that captures the essence of what you're up to in this blog. Now, it may not be a perfect sentence.
Hmm.
All that's necessary is that whatever you write is coming from your heart. Okay. And the reason I ask you to write something is because it has your energy in it.
Hmm.
You see,
Yeah.
there's nothing like when you are taking a stand for what you believe in, like you just said, there's nothing like getting it down and trying to put it in one sentence. Now, it might go to two sentences, no big deal, but that you're writing the essence of what you stand for with this blog. What would it be like just to put pen to paper? I can see you're writing something.
Yeah, it's helping me think. So I guess I have something. It's just there's one last part that I
Mm-hmm.
am wrapping up.
So keep going, please. I'm just saying that for people who are listening to us, listening to you and me talking now, that you are taking that action of actually writing something down from your heart. Take your time, please.
Okay, I have something. Hmm.
I knew you would.
So it's about growing a community of magical life possibilities.
Wow. Is that what you wrote?
Yeah, magical life possibilities.
That is I love it. And is it in a sentence form?
Right now, what I exactly wrote is growing a community of magical life possibilities.
Great. What is it like when you read this?
It's so beautiful and
Mhm.
energizing at the same time.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
Great. Now, I'd like you to have a piece of paper right now, another piece that you can actually tear up.
Okay.
Got it?
I have it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, draw a box on that page. A good size box.
Okay.
And in that box, I'm going to ask you to write out all or as many right now of your doubts and worries and your anxieties about this. Just take some time now and write them down. And I appreciate you so much for doing this, Jonathan.
Thank you so much for guiding and helping me with it.
Listen, I'm learning a lot from you.
Mm.
What it is to really take a beautiful stand for what you're doing. But let's not divert you from this thing. Write down your doubts and worries, any fears that you have. I think you said one of them was that no one will read it.
That's the first one I wrote.
Oh, good. So we're on track here.
Okay, I have it.
Wonderful. Now, I'm going to ask you to read these doubts and worries, the things that have been swirling around. Remember, these are normal and natural kinds of stuff that comes up when we're about to do something new, something that we've never done before. And our brain says, don't do it. It's too dangerous, remembering that you are not your brain. We are not our brains. You have two eyes, a nose, a mouth, and a brain. You and I and all of us, we are that which can train our brain, can shape the brain, which is really, it's such a powerful relationship that we can develop with our brain. And one of the reasons that I have asked you to write down your doubts and worries is we've got to get this out to see what the brain has been saying to you before we go on. It's got to be something that you can see. And I'm going to ask you to read them out loud, please. All of them. This is a real contribution that you're doing this.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one that I wrote, as you read in my mind, is what if I spend time writing it and no one reads?
Beautiful. That's perfect.
Which has similarity with the second one, which is what if it takes energy from other things that I should be doing?
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Yep.
And the third one is what if I do all of this to be able to help people and understand more deeply what I'm saying, and somehow people don't like and I feel stupid or shallow in what I'm sharing.
Yep. I hear it. Now, what is your experience as you are reading this? What does it feel like?
It feels like the brain is telling me this is the truth. This is 100% going to happen. You need to avoid it.
Yep. Yep. To just get a little analytical about this right now, what you're experiencing is called the negativity bias, that aspect of our brain that wants to keep us out of danger. It's a kind of primitive response going back thousands of years when our brain really needed to protect us from predators. But that mechanism is still here. So it's warning you and it's saying, if I can reflect, it's saying, you've got to listen to this. This is the truth, right?
Yeah. And it's, well, if I go dancing with it, it will give you more and it will share how it happened in the past somehow.
Oh,
So it
God.
will
Oh, God.
happen in the future
Oh,
because
my
of that.
goodness. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I do. Oh, my gosh. This sounds familiar to me as you're saying it. Now, take that piece of paper and put it next to the statement you wrote, that real heartfelt statement. Do you have
Yeah,
it?
I have it. Yeah.
Please read that statement out loud again.
growing a community of magical life possibilities.
God, how does that feel?
Wonderful.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, as you put these two conversations, we'll call it, together next to each other, right? Because you've written one, you've written the other. So one is a conversation about hanging back, don't do it, it's not going to work, and all the other kinds of stuff, right? As you said, if you really dwelled on it long enough, your brain could come up with stuff that would be variations on a theme, yes?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you look at this other beautiful, heartfelt statement and remembering that you have the power to focus your brain wherever you want it to focus. Which are you more interested in training your brain to focus on? I'm thrilled that you're taking your time with this.
Yeah. Growing a community of magical life possibilities is,
Yeah.
and what I'm noticing is just by looking at both of them is that even the one that I want to follow, if I stay with it for a while, I can even get some creativity on how I can make this happen instead of
Yes,
more of the worries around this is not going to happen because of X, Y, and Z.
exactly. So, are you willing to tear up that other piece of paper into little pieces, the one about the doubts and worries? Right now, are you willing to tear it up?
I am willing.
Very good. And notice the energy that comes off of it as you tear it up. What are you noticing? Yeah. What is it? You just kind of gave a big sigh. You're seeing something.
I'm standing with the foundation of my life's work,
Mm.
and I'm making a choice that it's the one worth standing for.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
So after our time together, I suggest that you do a couple of things. This is your coach now, giving you an assignment. And, sometimes the assignment can come from you, yourself. And right now, I'm giving you just a special one. When we're finished, throw those pieces of paper that you tore up, throw them in a trash can and take them outside of your building. You have a trash place or something where you can just toss them so you get it out of the place, the energy. And the one about growing a community of, you said, magical possibilities.
Yeah,
What
magical life possibilities.
That's it. Okay, great. So get do you print very well?
Not that much, but if you are suggesting that I print and put in front of me, there's something that I can do, which is I have a wall in front of me where I can write things down and I do it. I will show you. I'm sorry that people listening won't be able to see it, but
Oh, wow, I see it.
so this is in front of me and my work every day. So it's something that I can read every day if I write it down.
Wonderful. So, are you willing to print it on that board someplace where you can read it every day?
I am willing.
Please. And make it big enough because you see, what you're doing is you are consciously training your brain by having it focus on where you want to have it focus on. And whenever those other voices come up, have compassion for your brain. I know it sounds weird, but you might want to have some compassion for your brain because it works so hard and it just wants to protect you, whether you need it or not. So just have a little compassion for it and then refocus on that beautiful statement. What do you say?
I'm up for it.
Yeah, you are. So once again, read that statement out loud.
Okay, I will add I am willing in the beginning of it.
Great. So how does it sound then? Oh, I love it.
I am willing to grow a community of magical life possibilities.
That's gorgeous.
I
Absolutely
knew there was
gorgeous.
something missing.
Mm,
That was the I'm willing. Yeah.
got it. Yes. Which is so energizing, isn't it? It's just so full of that you are in it, you are doing it, because you can be willing to do something you don't know how to do. You can be willing to do something that you're afraid won't work. All that stuff. I am willing kind of cancels all that out.
Yeah.
I am willing. I've used that a lot in my life. I'll tell you, Jonathan, when I'm looking at something that my brain says, oh, Dr. Maria, it's not going to work. Of course, it calls me Maria, not Dr. Maria, but you get the gist of it. And then I have compassion for this brain, and I say to myself, nevertheless, I'm willing. Nevertheless, I'm willing. Now, you might want to look at by when you are willing to write your first blog piece.
I will post it by the end of next week.
Wonderful. Is there some place you can write that down and give it an actual date?
By August 9th, I post my first blog post.
Say the whole sentence out loud so that all of us can hear it.
Awesome. So by August 9th, I will post my first blog post.
Perfect. What's that like for you to say that?
Sounds fun, actually, in a good way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Comes with a lot more ease
It
than
does,
I
doesn't
expected.
it? Is there someone or someones that you are willing to support you in this?
Yes, there is. There is a brilliant man called Greg, who is also my mentor coach,
Oh,
who supported me in seeing that this was a possibility for me.
ah,
So I shared with him.
great. Brilliant. So I want to acknowledge you really for demonstrating courage and being willing to literally look at, both sides of the equation, all the doubts and worries and stuff that normally come up, and then looking at really what you're up to and choosing to focus your brain there. And out of that, empowering yourself to set a date for your first blog post. And I also want to thank you, Jonathan, for allowing me to lead you a little in this by suggesting that you do all these things that I did. I always do that to empower people to have magical life possibilities.
Yeah.
And you were just a demonstration for me of someone who's so wonderfully easy to coach in that I just want you to appreciate you.
Thanks
And
so much.
ah,
It's with a lot of joy that I say you have seen this path in my life from the beginning. So training the brain to be more coachable, it's actually a possibility. In the beginning, it was not that easy as it is right now.
Oh, sweetie.
But you gave me a lot of presents, and yeah, one of the greatest gifts was I am willing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So I'm looking forward to hearing how you're doing and reading your first blog post. Okay. And after this, right now, after this, I will give you exactly where to send it. So it gets right to me. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Yes. So I will actually email it to you. And right now, I think this concludes our coaching session. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.